welcome back to another episode of the Pit Lane Yappers, and Happy New Year.
Yeah.
I'm Mox.
I'm Rosie, and this is the first episode of 2026 and a 2025 season recap and highlights.
So I really just have recaps of like the craziest moments.
Yeah, I'm just
And,
really
like,
looking.
Sorry.
I'm just really looking at it as my highlights of the season.
Real.
Everybody and their mum has put out a
Full
highlight recap.
We're going off our highlights.
Yeah.
The first
Disclaimer, our opinion, okay?
Real. My first one is going to be Australia because that was something I rewatched today actually because I was trying to write my grad school essay and I was like, I need something in the background, so might as well watch AusGP 2025. I was not I forgot about the chaos. Literally like half the grid DNF'd before Oscar. I was like, I literally did not remember besides Isaac and Jack DNFing. I was like, yes. Whoa, Hulkenberg's Alonso's out. Williams is out. Like, what?
Well, I mean...
And then Oscar. Sorry.
Hang on. He didn't DNF, okay? He slid out into the grass.
No, he made it back. He made it back. Unlike Jack. But Jack did crash, like fully crash. So
it was certainly an interesting opener to the season.
I will say the best part of it was Hajar getting comforted by Anthony Hamilton.
True.
Not Hajar in the wall, but the fact that after Anthony Hamilton was like, it happens.
Yeah, that's true.
That was like very sweet. And then my second one is the Spain drama between Max and George.
Yeah. I would all year long argue the papaya rules PG like this rubbish that was happening all season. Canada where
can I just say I have Canada down too. Yeah, for Lando DNF and Kimi podium and me in the paddock.
And Gasly no brakes. Was it Gasly? Yeah. That was pretty entertaining. Another
was it Gasly or was it Franco?
One of the Alpines.
Now you're having me question.
Another seasonal highlight was definitely the Lego driver car
Miami. Yeah. Another thing about Miami that I remember is actually I watched the recap and it was Lewis in Miami. He was getting he was like, we have to do team orders. I did team orders. Why aren't you having me do team orders? And they were like, okay, we'll have team orders in turn 17. And he goes, yeah, and have a cup of tea with it.
Yeah.
It's like, go Lewis, go.
But
can I say my other highlight is Brazil? From Max Verstappen standpoint, just perfect.
My highlight is every single Oscar win and every single Oscar podium. Go white boy, go.
Zandvoort was a highlight for me, and I know that is not a highlight for you because of the Ferrari double DNF.
The low light, the disappointment is China.
Boo. But
Zandvoort
was a highlight for me because as a Max fan, he was finally back into the championship running. Thank you, McLaren, for having that engine failure. And another Red Bull was on the podium, Isaac.
Oh yeah, true. I thoroughly enjoyed watching Kimi Isaac. I think it's pronounced Isaac.
It is technically the French way, but if I try to pronounce anything French, I'm just going to be made fun of. So I'm calling him Isaac.
That's true. And yeah, I
I'm an
just really
American. If
enjoyed
I pronounce
watching.
it correctly, I get canceled. If I pronounce it incorrectly, I also get canceled. So I can't win there.
Um, no, that's true, but yeah, I just really enjoyed watching the rookies drive, and as usual, really enjoyed Charles and Oscar watching them drive. I do think some highlights of the season were watching Max and Charles race each other.
I think also a big highlight of the season for me was having the championship not determined like before the final race, because obviously you and I joined in 2023, so like 2023 on, it was always going to be Max, and it was like the easiest race wins and the easiest championship wins. And seeing the battle go down to Abu Dhabi, even though it didn't go Max's way or Oscar's way, it was still very fun. And it was like a lot more fun going to Abu Dhabi not knowing who was going to win than like, okay, it's the final race. Max already won. Red Bull got the constructors. Next, like,
See, I disagree here because, frankly, my heart rate was 1,000 beats per minute, and I was
but
actually
I enjoy the chaos.
I was at work when Oscar lost the
Oh,
championship. The race is on the TV, and I was so
yeah,
I
that would
was
have been bad.
wearing my Oscar like OP81 jumper because it was cold and it was wet, and I obviously look so devastated that as customer was leaving, he was like, "I'm really sorry about Oscar," and I was like,
Oh
"Shut up."
god. Um, I will say another highlight of mine was the Coda sprint. Not yours. Honestly, not mine either, because Alonso also DNF'd. But like the fact it was Hulkenberg, Piastri, Norris, and Alonso collision, Max won. It was chaotic. And there was also really good racing in the sprint and in the race. Like I felt like Kodo was one of those races where it wasn't boring in any spot.
I have blocked out the Kota sprint
Just like
entirely.
Baku
Um, Baku was bad for more than
when he
one
was
reason.
in the wall.
Do you know how bad? First, Oscar in the wall, and second, do you know how bad a car has to be for Charles Leclerc not to fly around Baku? Like it, like that is one.
Well, according
That
to
is
2026, Ferrari took a huge chance with their 2026 engine.
shut up, shut up. You know, like Baku is one of Leclerc's tracks. It's one of the strongest ones.
Anyways, what was the best slash favorite race of yours? I have four.
Four.
Yeah.
Um, I did like Bahrain. Oscar win. I did like Oscar's triple win. That was when life was good. Okay. Um. Um. But really, you cannot beat being at a race in person. So Silverstone was.
I have Monza because Max gets onto Italian soil and he's like, I'm going to race and I'm going to win because Ferrari is desperate. So I will be the Ferrari's champion. Sorry. I have Zandvoort because that was when Max was back into the championship. I have Montreal
Monza.
because duh. Also, Montreal, Kimmy, podium, McLaren double, not double, McLaren DNF, George win. Like, it was really kind of like a great race for me all over. And then Silverstone because Hulkenberg.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Also, Silverstone is full of chaos in itself, but
The weather. I almost put Brazil, but Max didn't win it. So
the weather in Silvo is just a different.
trust me,
Like
I am well aware.
I
I
live in
was there.
England. I live in England all the time, and it never seems to obviously it never seems to rain that much until then. Like
Yeah.
it rains, but not like that, and then you get to the race and is raining cats and dogs the whole weekend, and you're like,
You're covered in
but
mud, you're freezing, you're definitely getting sick at the end of the race, but you
you,
know what?
you're,
It's
you're
worth it.
you're sunburned, you're cold, you're
You're sick.
dusty,
You're exhausted.
muddy.
You stink. You're probably
And
hungover.
your favorite driver spun out, and your
Oh.
driver's championship rival won the race. But
But other than that, no. Silverstone is an experience. You just have to experience it.
it's really good. I think it was the highest attended race this season. Felt like it, so no surprises there.
What do you think? Which team do you think was the best improved team throughout the season?
Williams, no question.
I have Williams too.
Yeah.
Can I just say that I never thought that at least the first season that Carlos Sainz was in Williams, he'd be beating Lewis Hamilton in a Ferrari, and here we are. And I know you're making that face, except it's Lewis Hamilton. If anyone can do a miracle in Ferrari, no offense, it would be Lewis.
hang on, the head-to-head disagrees. Have you just considered that the real miracle is how bad the Ferrari car is? And
Miracle? That's not a miracle. That's not a miracle. Miracle means it's good.
Yeah, but
unless you're like a Ferrari hater, then like it's a miracle to you. But like
only something that bad could have been crafted by a higher being. They should stop going to the Pope, I feel.
Who do you think overall in the season was the best driver?
I would say Max. I would, but I'm on the Ferrari horse here. Charles did manage 4 podiums, I think, 4 or 5. And I do think,
I'm going to say Max.
Well, I know you are, but I do think that is I do think that amount of podiums is
Can I just say
impressive.
Something about Max that I have to say is it's the first time ever that the driver that was rated number 1 for 2025 is not the world champion. Max Verstappen, all team principals and all drivers were rated number 1 driver of 2025. The first time in history it hasn't been the championship driver.
No, I do agree. I do agree with it, but I'm saying that
smash.
that
sorry, I mean what?
Leclerc's ability to outperform his car is shocking.
I think the second best would be Kimi. And the reason why is because he was put into a seat of a 7-time world champion and said, you better perform or you're out. And he did. He got a pole position in Miami. He got a podium. He was very much like racing Lewis, Max, Alonso, Charles, George, even Oscar and Lando sometimes. Like, for somebody whose first year, it was pretty impressive.
Yeah. And then, yeah, again with the Charles thing as well.
Going back to Charles.
No, but going into the season, people were saying that, like, Lewis would wipe the floor with him, and that just wasn't the case.
Lewis. That wasn't an insult to Charles. It's just Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah, no, I know that, but like it just wasn't the case at all. So I think he has perhaps proved himself to a subset of people.
I think it's also like, I think not many people really thought Ferrari was that bad of a car because like Carlos and Charles aren't world champions, and a lot of the people, at least on the internet, weren't really popular fans when Sebastian Vettel was there or Kimi Räikkönen was there or even Fernando Alonso or people like that. So all they had were these race winners that had 6 and 5 race wins to their name at the time. They're like, okay, they're just struggling with this car. They're just not the greatest driver. But putting Lewis Hamilton in a Ferrari and seeing him struggle even more than Charles, and Lewis has won 7 championships, and he's the greatest driver of all time.
It
really tells you just how bad that car is.
Yeah, it really puts into perspective how bad the car is and has been.
I also don't think the car is bad. I think it's probably got really good parts, but the parts that don't work really don't work. Yeah. Like, it's not like the entire, because I do feel like Ferrari, everyone said the Ferrari engine is actually pretty good. Like, the Haas just kept, the cooling wasn't working. That's what everybody said, which is why they kept having the failures. They were like, the front wing is literally like the Red Bull from last year. It should be working. It's the rear wing and the side pods that they don't figure out. And it was just so wrong.
Yeah.
That the good parts of the car were canceled out by the really bad parts. I also think the strategy really came into play here. Ferrari needs new strategists.
Oh, 100%. But yeah, I think Lewis struggling so much puts into perspective how awful the car is, but then...
And how much Charles puts up with.
Yeah, and it immediately uplifts how good a driver Charles really is.
Also, Carlos. I know you don't like Carlos, but Carlos is still the last driver to win in a Ferrari in F1.
In F1.
Max Verstappen is the last one. Max Verstappen is the last one to win in a Ferrari, period.
Yeah, I'm fine with that, but...
Can I just say that he was the Ferrari's enemy last year, and this past year, 2025, they were chanting his name, and they rang the bells in Maranello for him when he won the GT race. Like, that's character building right there.
That's what McLaren does to a bitch.
Anyways, what was your least favorite race? I have 2.
Abu Dhabi.
I have Monaco because Monaco is boring. Monaco will never be my favorite race until Fernando Alonso wins it. Like, I don't even think Max Verstappen winning would make me like the race. I think Fernando Alonso needs to win and look good on the podium.
Incorrect. In 2017.
Okay, anyways, moving on. My second one is China. I don't want to talk about China.
I agree.
I don't want to talk about the Chinese Grand Prix. Please.
Neither do I.
Anyway, who do you think was the worst team? I have a tie.
No offense to you guys, but Alpine, what are you doing?
Okay. I thought you were saying to me, I was like, wait a minute, Aston Martin had points on the board.
Bottom of the board, some team principal scandal, embezzlement, Dubai business. Jack Doohan sacked off after 6 races and replaced with Colapinto, even though
who scored 0 points.
Even though you have the same manager, who was also banned from F1 previously.
It just keeps going. Like, it just keeps going. Yeah, mine is Alpine, but I also have Sauber. But, like, beginning of the season, Sauber, they definitely improved after the summer break. But, like, before the summer break, I was like, Sauber, what are we doing?
Yeah, but...
Alpine never improved. Alpine hasn't improved since they joined the grid. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, yeah. Who do you think had the worst season, driver-wise?
Lewis.
Oh, I said Franco. He scored 0 points. At least Lewis scored a few points.
No, I do get that, like, the drivers didn't score any points, but Lewis...
No, at Lewis, yeah.
7-time world champion for the 17 years into his career, and for the first time in his career, he went a whole season without scoring a podium.
Well,
is,
yeah, anyone who's a fan of
yeah,
Sebastian Vettel, Carlos Sainz, Fernando Alonso,
Charles.
Kimi Raikkonen, Charles Leclerc could have told you that. We could have
But
been like, hey, hey, it's not going to improve for Mercedes. I know you're
all that
celebrating him leaving Mercedes. It's not going to get better. It's actually going to get worse.
all that aura farming on Instagram for what? For what?
I also have Lawson because he started in Red Bull. I will say Red Bull was kind of harsh. They were like, okay, you got like 10 races. You suck. Next. And put Yuki in the car. But Lawson's teammate was a rookie, and Isaac kind of made laps around Lawson.
Yeah, I
And
do
now
feel like.
Isaac's in the Red Bull Racing seat.
What are you most excited for next season?
I'm excited about Arvid Lindblad. Also Adrian Newey and Alonso. But that's like
I
a given.
see.
I've been talking about Adrian Newey and Aston Martin and Fernando Alonso for like a year now, so that's not shocking. My shocking one is I'm really excited about Arvid Lindblad.
I'm just gonna take Lindblad as it comes. I'm more excited for Cadillac and to see Perez and Bottas back on the grid.
I am not excited about Cadillac. Not because I don't think I think Cadillac has a great team, and I think they are actually like doing something. Unlike
Yeah.
like some teams join and they're like, you know what, this is our first year. We're just not gonna attempt it. We're just gonna learn. Like I feel like Cadillac actually like wants to be in the race. But like, am I excited for Bottas and Checo back on the grid? Yes. Am I excited to see what they can do in a car that's actually made for them? Yes. However, I don't have much hope. It's their first year. Like, they're getting their feet on the ground. Like, I'm not that excited for them in the sense of, like, I don't want to get my hopes up. But
Sorry.
I am still very excited.
Yeah, no, I'm not expecting anything. I'm just excited to
I'm
like
also
see it on 11-team grid.
yeah. I'm excited to see how that works in Monaco. We barely can fit 20 drivers. Now we're fitting 22. Okay. Who do you think was the rookie of the year?
Hadjar.
I have Antonelli.
I just think Hadjar, he went from a DNS to a podium. He's,
Outperformed his teammate.
Yeah, outperformed his teammate. He's just had such a stellar season. And then, like, it's just impressive to see, he outperformed his teammate. He's promoted himself, promoted
Promoted?
himself to Red
Promoted.
Bull.
To be completely honest, though, like I said, I think in the last episode, I said it sometime. I could have been on my TikTok, to be completely honest. But I think this is the best time for Isaac to go to Red Bull Racing because of these new regulations, which we will get into in a second. But nobody really knows how their car is going to perform. They can try to make a car for Max. They can try to make a car for Lando, Charles, whoever the team is basing their car around. But for the first time in a while, Red Bull Racing doesn't actually know who this car is actually for. So
yes.
I feel like if somebody's going to break that like second seat curse, as people say, it's going to be somebody like Isaac coming in at a new regulation year. And I feel like Isaac, out of all of the choices, no offense to Yuki, but like between Isaac, Yuki, Arvid, and Liam, I feel like Isaac probably will be that person over the other choices they had.
Also, I think with 2026 being Laurent Becky's first full season as Red Bull team principal, I think it's a good time as well because there's no.
He was interviewed at like the end of the season, and they're like, "What's like gonna be the new motto for Red Bull Racing?" And he goes, "We're done with making enemies. We want to be friends with everybody on the grid." And I was like, What happened to this sport? But I am excited for him. I do feel like he will listen to both drivers. It's not going to be like a one-man team.
Yeah. Whereas Horner ignored Perez for 2 years before.
I will also say Horner did a lot more than just ignore him. He went, we're going to look at the simulations and like listen to AI telling us exactly how the car is performing. And the AI system said like it's perfectly fine, like it's working. And even after Checo left, Max was like, hello, car's not working. What's wrong? And they got rid of Horner. And Mekke's the first thing he said was, fix what Max said. Try it. It was fixed. That was Zandvoort. All of a sudden, the car was fine.
Yeah.
Everybody hates AI. All of my friends hate AI.
We all hate AI over here.
No, we're really going to listen to a computer over a person who's actually driving the car. Who has a better opinion on the car? Going into 2026.
Yeah.
There are some new regulations. And I'm going to try to make this as quick and as simple as possible. Overall, the cars will be shorter, narrower, lighter, and nimbler. This basically means that they're trying to make it like the racing closer, and there's going to be more overtaking in the racing.
Because the cars can fit better side by side.
And they'll be faster. However, every single car so far is overweight. So we shall see. Every single car. But the wheelbase, which is basically the length of the back wheel to the front wheel, is going to be shorter. So the cars will be shorter. And that basically means the car is going to be more responsive to the driver. So if the driver turns, it's going to be a lot less difficult for a car to turn. Thank God. Thank God. Everybody knows Aston Martin has a car that doesn't steer a lot. So thank God.
Aston Martin have Adrian Newey. What are you complaining?
They created the 2026 car before he even was considered to be joining. So like he's got to fix it now. Anyways.
I'm sure he will.
The tires are also narrower. They are narrower. They are still 18-inch Pirelli tires. However, they are a little bit narrower. So like they're still as wide, but thinner basically. And this basically cuts drag. And there's no more front tire arches at all. So say goodbye to that design. Now talking about the floor. The floor is no longer going to have a curve or any shape. It is flatter. And they have extended diffusers with like bigger openings for the diffuser, which basically brings less downforce, a higher ride height, and this should level the playing field because it opens like more opportunities and more setups. So depending on the driver, it's going to create a more open space to more types of drivers. Which I'm really excited for Red Bull because that means Max and Isaac could have two completely different setups and still be great drivers.
We will see.
Where it's like Red Bull basically had to choose either this driver or this driver, and obviously they're going to choose the 4-time world champion. So now onto the wings. Both front and rear wings are going to be changed. They're going to be simpler. The front wing will feature narrower elements. Like I said, the car is going to be smaller. And the outer sections, which are like those little wings of the front wing, will basically be the biggest new areas of development for every team because they're probably one of the most important parts of the car because of how it reacts and influences the overall aero performance, you know.
Yeah.
And then the rear wing, the rear beam is just non-existent anymore. They got rid of that, which I believe, I tried to look up a video because I'm not going to lie, this was all gibberish to me. I think it's that middle thing. It's like side, middle. I think that's the rear beam wing. However, the person telling me where the rear beam wing just was like pointed to the rear wing, and I was like, well, that's not helpful. I know the rear wing's not completely gone, so I tried my best, everybody. I tried. But they're also getting rid of DRS. They got rid of DRS, and basically they have introduced active aero. That is what it's called now. This means the drivers can adjust the angle of both of their wings based on the track. So obviously that's the same, but like it's more, instead of changing the entire wing, it's just the angle of the wing. And in the corners, the flaps of the rear wing stay shut to maintain the grip. That's no different from DRS. And on designated straights, like DRS zones, I don't know what they're going to be. I think they're called overtaking zones now. They were going to be called mom zones, and then they already banned the word mom. So, anyways, on those straights, drivers can activate low drag mode, which is basically opening their flaps and flatten the wings. This is the new DRS.
Yeah.
That is literally
of
DRS.
Course,
and it's called the overtake mode.
Yes, but of course they banned opening the flaps on the mum straight. Come on now.
Also, something different is drivers will actively be overseeing their battery recharge. It won't just be on the walls, and they can set different modes on their own steering wheel, talking to like the engineers on the wall. Obviously, I mean, I guess they could, like, if Ferrari wasn't listening, I guess Charles could say, okay, I'm just gonna charge my battery, but like most of the time it is interactive.
And
there's going to be different
wasn't listening.
There are going to be different modes that the driver can recharge their battery. Now, speaking of batteries, let's get into power units. This was the one where it took me, I think, 5 videos today to understand. I was not born to be an engineer. Okay, folks, I was not, but I tried my best. So basically the core is the same. It's going to be a 1.61 and V6 turbo hybrid engine, which basically means it runs on electricity and it also runs on fuel. Now, the internal combustion engine output gone, while the electric motor has tripled, which basically means they cut back on regular fuel and went with more electric, which is a little bit more sustainable. F1's still not that sustainable, but they're trying. And now it's roughly a 50-50 power split, and this actually makes the engine more reliable. That's good news for you and Ferrari. And it's great news for me and Aston Martin. And
I've just got a text. Sorry, I've just got a text from Tima that says maybe this will be Ferrari's year.
Oh, so real. As we're talking about the power units, also the car's engine recovery system, which is ERS, which basically just means them cooling down, like they're basically LiCo and also recharge zone moments. Can recharge the batteries with
bring up
2
LiCo
times
in this house.
I bet it basically can recharge the battery with 2 times as much energy per lap as it than before. So before like 2024, 2025, all of that. Now it's going to be a little more powerful, which means we're going to get a little more racing. Also, this is the end of the MGU-H. Don't ask me what that is. I don't know what it is. I tried to look it up. It's all technical terms. If somebody wants to tell me, that's great. If you don't, I think I can live without knowing about it because it's gone. They removed it. And basically they removed it because it was really unreliable. Like, that was the whole reason basically engines shut down and exploded. And it also added like half the weight of the car.
Well,
so like, I want to know why the cars are all overweight now.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Anyways, it's the paint. But speaking of sustainability, the fuel has changed. It has gone to their advanced sustainable fuel, which is an Aramco specialty. My team specialty. And basically they only went to this because they trialed it with F2 and F3 in 2025 and it worked wonderfully. There was a lot less, like, I think they said erosion. Is that a thing with engines? I don't know. Whatever they said, decay, whatever it is, the fuel was not eating the engine, okay, as much. And
With the
now,
fuel, from what I've heard as well, this is not concrete, so take this with a grain of salt, everybody. But from what I understand, they've created fuel. It's a biofuel created from waste, from
do
what
you
I
know who
understand.
fronted that research? Aramco. Thank you, Aston Martin. Honda, Aston Martin, Adrian Newey, Aramco. It's all looking good. It's all looking good, everybody. Don't tell me
Um,
Honda's untrustworthy. I am well aware. Anyways, talking, we have a few more. Driver safety obviously is going to get better. They are the driver survival cell, which is basically like that seat and what's wrapped around the seat, will be subjected to more rigorous tests because of all the crashes, like Yuki's crash last year, Bortoletto's crash last year, even Hulkenberg's crash last year, Max driving into George last year. They're now testing it. Also, the roll hoop will be strengthened to take 23% more load before it cracks, which the roll hoop didn't even
is
know that
that
was a thing.
round? Is the round bit?
It's right under the onboard camera,
It's the
right above the
Duracell.
driver.
It's the
Yep,
Duracell bit on the Williams car
exactly. Exactly. Which
to
I
make
didn't know.
it.
I thought it was just like a cool little shape. Fun fact. um and also the front impact structure design has been tweaked to separate into two stages so the driver won't have like that shocking impact on their legs to protect their spine, and it basically gives drivers greater protection in major crashes such as Gabriel Bortoletto's crash in Brazil. And that's it. Those are the upgrades. To finish this recap, we do have a few new numbers. We have 3 new numbers. Valtteri Bottas has kept 77. Sergio Perez is keeping 11. Max Verstappen has not gone to 33. He has contacted Daniel Ricciardo and has gotten permission to use the number 3. We are getting 3 back on the grid, not with DR, but with MV. And Lando Norris, even though he said I'm not going to take the 1, has taken the 1. Honestly,
It should be
I
Obi-Wan, but
I'm not going to lie. Branding and marketing wise, LN1 was the worst swap he could have done. Cancel me. I don't care. That's my opinion. Like, from a marketing perspective, his entire brand is LN4, and all of a sudden, you're like, I'm going to take a new number.
his LN4
And
quad, which was 4.
it's all
Like,
4. I don't understand. And then we also have a new driver. Arvid Lindblad is joining the grid, and he is taking the number 41.
so rogue.
I'm so excited. Red Bull almost has a perfect team for me.
One regulation I am excited for is that the liveries have to be 75% colourful.
This is why I actually believe that's the reason why every single car is overweight, because remember in 2020, I think it was 2024 in the Las Vegas Grand Prix, Red Bull Racing was like, so we were supposed to have a sparkly livery, but the paint was too heavy.
It was too heavy. I just think,
and I was like, what do you mean the paint's too heavy? The paint is not that heavy. What are you talking about?
The glitter was too heavy for your car.
Okay, if Aston Martin, you're watching this, there's like a 0.00001% chance you're watching this. I know you've already created your livery, but hear me out. Green, dark emerald, British racing green, gorgeous, and gold.
Sparkly.
Hear me out.
A night race, sparkly green.
It would. Then Alonso could bring back his gold boots from the Renault age. Just saying. Alpine, also listen to me. It better be freaking pink this time.
Yeah, I want a pink car. Not none of this pretending that it's going to be pink and then it's actually blue.
Also, F1 TV. Well, I guess it's Apple now. If you put Cadillac and it is blue, or if you put Audi and it is blue, done. You're done.
Because
I'm unsubscribing.
why are
I don't
Alpine,
need
Red
that many
Bull,
blue.
Mercedes, Williams, why are they
Alpine's
all
pink.
blue?
Alpine's
Not,
pink. I don't care. The car might not be pink, but they're pink.
yeah, like,
Mercedes
just,
should be like silver. You can't do
yeah,
that. I get why they're blue, but they should be a different shade of blue. They don't have to be the same color of blue.
Williams should be more like a brighter royal blue.
That was it.
Yeah.
And we will see you soon.
Yeah, see you soon. Happy New Year, guys.
Bye.
Bye.